Hello, Star Trek Discovery. Thank you so much for joining us today in the LA Times photo studio. We're so excited to have you here at Comic-Con. How is everybody's con going?
Just crazy. So great.
So I hear you all saw the trailer for the first time at the panel. Is this correct?
Yes.
All right. What was our collective reaction to seeing the trailer? I don't know.
I was frozen. I found myself in the middle of it realizing that I had not moved at all. It was overwhelming. It's extraordinary.
And I want to pick up on that because it is overwhelming. It has been 12 years, I believe, since we have been in this world on television or in this new world of CBS All Access, but a television ongoing series. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering what it was like for you, especially the Trekkers among you, that when you realized you were joining this sort of very venerated institution, like your response to that.
For me, I don't know if I process it as it's happening. I think in a couple of years it will be the time I go, like I'll clock it. Right now it's madness. I don't know how to process it, and it's an amazing feeling.
It just feels like it feels epic in a way that, I mean, Star Trek I think has always been, felt important, but there's something I feel like capitally epic about how the trailer felt that feels new and wonderful. But it doesn't just feel epic to me in terms of the spectacle of the explosions and the starships. It feels epic also in terms of what the stakes are. I feel like the humanity is coming through in just those 2.5 minutes.
I was going to say I also felt like I really got to see your story and like get a window into this person who everyone's going to meet, and how beautiful and epic that story is. It's very moving to watch.
I feel like it's at once epic and microscopic at the same time, and that's sort of the sense.
Great way to put it.
That's sort of the sense that I got from the trailer as well. Is that you see the grand scale, but you also see the tiny, small quietness as well. We were truly blown away.
Well, and I think that's actually a really good way to describe Star Trek in general. It's the making the personal universal, right? Yes. Going out to the wide screen and then zeroing in on these people individually and their humanity. And what I think is, and without sounding too geeky about it all, I guess this is the place to do it. The thing that I'm a big Trek fan, and the thing that has always touched me the most is it's about humanity. It's about curiosity. It's about conflict resolution. It's about us knowing ourselves in order to know each other better. And so it seems like perhaps this is a good time for Star Trek to be returning.
That's what it feels like.
And that's
what
an excellent.
everyone's been saying today so many times, and it's sort of also about, there's an idealistic aspect to it that feels very rooted, which is about humanity's endless thirst for knowledge and for expanding awareness, and that part of us that it's capable of that. The scientists who grew up watching Star Trek are now our key scientists dealing with climate change and NASA and all that kind of stuff, and they have a utopian vision because they believe that the best of us can triumph, and that the best of our thinking and searching and agreeing, we're going to come up with something, we're going to fix this, and that's why it feels to me it's always very contemporary, because that's always going to be our story.
I feel like there's a lot of media, whether it be TV shows or movies, that are looking forward in this moment and looking forward to a future past what might be a big event, a dystopian future. And I think it's really refreshing that Star Trek is so idealist, because it could feel like the end of the world right now, at least in America. It feels extremely divided, feels like people can't hear each other, people can't have compassion for each other, and also the state of the environment and the climate that is changing and starting to rapidly change. And I think what Star Trek did, and sort of like what James said, is it says what qualities are we going to have, and what ways are we going to have to think in order to move forward to a better future, not just survive in a dystopian one. And I think those qualities are compassion, open-heartedness, open-mindedness, respect for difference,
Teamwork,
rigor, and strength. And I think all those things are embodied in the characters on the show, in the lead of the show, and in the story.
And which of our producers just said a minute ago that Gene Roddenberry's vision originally was putting us into the future where we didn't have to mention you're a different color than me, you're a different species than me. It was
Right.
never really mentioned out loud. It just was. You see all these different kinds working together for a common cause, and that's the future I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Oh, and that's the future I hope we're looking forward to too. And now you are plopped into the middle of this. It's big for all of you, but it's really big for you. And so when you got the news, I just can't imagine. Had you been a Star Trek fan previous to this?
So I am ashamed to say that I wasn't, but I think it's a testament to how far-reaching Star Trek really is, because it was on the television in my home growing up. I never just sat down and watched it and paid attention to it, but it was always sort of on TOS and Next Gen. And so though I didn't watch it, I feel that it is a part of my upbringing. And so now I mean, it is very easy to be overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? It's very
I'm sure.
It's like, what is happening? What have we been endowed with?
Yes.
And everyone takes it so seriously, and everyone is so talented. Every single person sitting here, and all the other cast, every member of our crew, every member of our creative team, the producing team, the writing staff. It's an entire company of artists who value the legacy, who understand the vision, who believe in it themselves, who are making choices that manifest it in their own lives and are putting it on paper. We're coming together to do this, and we hope that it reaches out to the extended family of the Star Trek community, and we can all sort of, if I dare say, go boldly into the light together.
But mentioning the extended Star Trek family, and this is a very large family, and as families sometimes do, they have disagreements about things. But I'm wondering if you all are beginning to strategize now for when the show comes on about if you are going to engage with social media and the fan base, and if so, how you are going to do that. Or are you going to wall off from that?
I've been reading all along because I just find it interesting. What I perceive is a tremendous amount of it's probably self-evident, but passion, but also some protectiveness. Really, that if there's skepticism, it's driven by a sense of being protective and being afraid of being disappointed, which is understandable. So I can have compassion for it. So I don't get mad at them. And then there are plenty of people who are saying, well, we haven't really seen it yet. So if you're drawing conclusions, that's not fair. So wait until we see it. So there's also right now there's a tremendous amount of trying to suss out the details, guess at things. I'm also amazed that some of the things they're guessing at that were really accurate. Like just from the 2 seconds of the first trailer, the little details between Soneqa's character and James' character, they were figuring out some of those possible reasons way in advance of us telling them, and I think that's also really amazing and impressive. But I just want to say to all of them, I haven't done this, and I don't think it's our place to do this because I don't want to squelch their engagement or whatever they want to say, but that just trust that we have our hearts in the right place.
And this is the first Star Trek series that's ever been introduced while social media was alive. So this didn't exist before, this element of fandom and the voice that they have and the platform that they have now. So I know that Anthony and I have been very active on Twitter, and they're very grateful to have people from the show that are hitting the like button on their comment when it's a good one that we can like. and even the skeptical ones or the naysayers, like I said, they're engaged and they're going to be watching, and that's and that's all good. That's all good.
Absolutely. And James, I just had one last question for you, and that is, you are the only person, to my knowledge, that is playing a character that has already existed in this world and has, in fact, been played by someone previously. So I'm curious, did you go back and do a lot of research? And I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, but I think it's Michael Leonard who had played this character. Mark Leonard. Okay.
Yeah, I watched. I loved his performance, and I watched. This is what I've been telling people. I watched enough to get a sense of who he was and what the shape of the character was, but not too much that I got intimidated. And so I hope that I'm honoring his work. I feel like very connected to that. But I also feel that we've created our own world, and there's so much backstory potential with the Vulcans that you're going to see. I don't want to I don't want to reveal too much. but
Yes.
it's fascinating, and we're really going to be digging into it.
And how often are we making Anthony sing between?
Oh,
You don't have to
make
him. I'll just sing. Doug sings
he
too, by the way.
sings whenever he wants, and we are all ears. We're
right.
just like, do it, Anthony, sing it.
So karaoke night on Discovery?
Yes. And Wilson Cruz as well.
Yeah,
You know,
Wilson,
we've got
yeah.
his
Wilson's
songbird of a
exciting.
voice
We're hoping for
that
a
we
musical
love
episode.
listening. Please.
Right.
All right. Excellent.
My
There will be
goodness.
aliens
And
that
that
make you
Mary.
sing.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and that Mary too.
Lest we forget.
Jason tries to sing.
Well, I like that music is in our future. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Good luck with the show. I will be watching.
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Thank you for
having
having us.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Thank you.